What good is melody? What good is music if it ain't possessing something sweet?
Yes.
It ain't the melody, it ain't the music. There's something else that makes this tune complete. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It don't mean a thing. All you gotta do is sing. Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Give that rhythm everything. Give it everything you got. It don't mean a thing. All you gotta do is sing. It makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Come on, give that rhythm everything you, give it everything you got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
Come on, Matt. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot. Come on, give that rhythm everything. Give it everything you got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. 1, 2, 3. Do-a, 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 do-a. Do-a, 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 do-a. Do-a, 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 do-a.
How do you keep your heart, your compassion alive in disheartening times? This is the topic of our service today, and I'm so glad to be with you. And already I know that my heart is alive because of this music. Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much. Fantastic. And drums, ooh, you're doing good today. All right, good morning and welcome, all souls, where we love beyond belief and rock out for sure. Here at The Point, agnostics, atheists, humanists, and seekers gather in the community for inspiration and connection. None of us have to go it alone. No matter what you believe or don't believe or where you come from, you are welcome here. You are loved. It's so good to be with you this morning. I am Program Minister Nicole Kirk. Up here on the stage with me this morning is Marlin Lavanhar, our Senior Minister, and online with our Everywhere members is our Assistant Minister, Randy Lewis, who is online in Israel with us today. Such a delight to be with all of you, and a special welcome to our Everywhere members this morning all across the world. It's always good to have you in service with us. Now, if you are a first-time guest or new to All Souls, we welcome you, especially this morning, and our ushers have a special gift for you. So if you let us know by raising your hand and keeping it up there so our ushers can see you, they'll bring a special gift with you this morning. All right, we have some hands going up. They're coming down the aisles to bring you your gift, and we are so glad to see you. Now, please join us in just a moment in saying our covenant together. As I'm going to let our ushers go ahead and do this. And actually, I just want to do another invitation. The Sonnen Library is just out these doors across the foyer. So if you're new or newish, we invite you to come over to the library this morning after the service and get to know the church. Ask the congregation, All Souls, to ask your questions, and we'd be happy to answer them for you. There's also special refreshments for newcomers in there. All right, and now let us begin by saying our covenant together. Print it in your bulletin. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Our chalice lighter this morning, Catherine Mitchell, member of All Souls. Some of you may remember she used to sing in the New Dimensions Chorale for a while. She's in our inclusion program right now and is a renowned artist in our community. It's great to have you lighting our chalice this morning, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. We celebrate Black History Month every year, all year long here at All
That's
Souls,
right.
and not just 1 month a year. Amen? Even so, it is great to have February to lift up the voices and stories of Black Americans.
Yes.
In that vein, our chalice lighting words today come from the late great poet and author, Dr. Maya Angelou.
Yes.
In the flush of love's light, we dare be brave, and suddenly we see that love cost all we are and will ever be. Yet, it is only love which sets us free.
Yes. Beautiful. 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 So in just a few minutes, we're going to welcome some new members into the life of All Souls. We have a little ritual we do to formally welcome people. We have 43 people join the congregation in the last few months, so it's really exciting. And we had about 20 people up here in the first service, and I think there's 8 or 9 at least, and we had folks online from New Jersey and Illinois and other places. All their names are in the program if you want to see who they are. But we use a rose to kind of bless folks as we do this ritual. And this comes from there are a few different ways that people join All Souls rituals that we have, and one is with our child dedication ceremony. And I think we have a picture of a little baby being dedicated. We use the rose and we touch the child and we say, may your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life. And then when those children reach the age of discretion, which is around 9th grade for us, we have a coming of age ceremony, and we give them a rose that we put on their lapel to remind them of that dedication and to say, but now, really that was your parents doing that for you. That wasn't you. Now it's your chance to declare your interest in being a part of this community. And so it's one of the best Sundays of the year, and they come forward and speak their truth. And of course, weddings are another ritual that we do here at All Souls. And what's the next? We do a communion service 4 times a year for folks who want to be a part of that. That's a very meaningful ritual for a lot of people, and it goes back to our history in Europe many years ago. And then every once in a while, when it falls on a Sunday, we'll celebrate the Day of the Dead. We have folks in our community with Mexican-American heritage who lead us in that, and we bring mementos and pictures of people we love who've died and put them on the altar, and it's a really special ceremony. Then, of course, this is Thanksgiving Sunday when our children and youth bring vegetables and fruit of any of the children youth here remember doing that? Any of you all did that? Okay, some of you. So, and then we give that to the homeless as part of our bounty and our sharing. And then, of course, Christmas Eve candlelight service is another ritual that we have where we light candles and sing songs every year on Christmas Eve. And of course, flower communion ceremony on every Mother's Day. Everybody's invited to bring a flower from your own garden to here to All Souls, and then we all at the end of the service take a flower from someone else's that someone else brought, and it's what we call it a flower communion. It's a humanist service of community and communion. And then what's the next one is, we did this last year on Memorial Day. We're going to do it again on June 1st. It's a beautiful ritual of remembrance and repair and reconciliation. And we did this powerful ritual related to the 1921 race massacre on the anniversary this year. It'll be the anniversary. And also thinking about repair in our own lives, personal lives. So that was really powerful. We're going to do that again. And then how many people have walked the labyrinth this winter? So on our front lawn, we have this tradition around Thanksgiving of putting this lighted labyrinth, and at night it lights up. And if you haven't been out here, it's going to be here for about another month before we take it down. And you can walk. There's only one way in and one way out, so you can't get lost. And it's a wonderful ritual. This month, our theme is spiritual practices. And so some of these rituals are some of our practices that we do to keep us grounded, to mark time, to build community, to remember what's important to us, and not just in our heads, but in our bodies. And so that is, I just wanted to share all that. And now I'd like to have our ritual of this morning, which is to invite anyone who's joined the church over the last few months who are here to be recognized to come forward now onto the chancel and join me and Nicole. I will, yes, thank you. Come on forward. Come on up, Libby. It's good to see you. You can be able to get up? All right. Here, I'll get. All right. Beautiful. Come on up. Sure, come on up again, Marcia. We welcome Marcia in the last service. We're going to welcome her again.
You're a double welcome.
That's right. Here, so just stand in line. And
I already have one.
we're going to give you another one. Thank you, Marcia. So today we formally welcome you all as members of All Souls, and we want to also welcome any virtual members who might be joining this morning. So we do this as a way of welcoming new members into the covenant of our congregation to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So I ask you, will you as new members honor our covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another? If so, please say, I will. Beautiful.
All Souls, congregants, as our community grows, do you reaffirm your commitment to the covenant of love and service that binds us together? If so, please say, we do. And will you welcome these new members into our community? Strive to dwell with them in peace, support their search for truth with love, and help them when they are in need? If so, please say, I will.
And now I want us all to remember that this covenant is a promise that we make. It's something that we strive to live out together to make our community strong and loving and caring. But it is true that sometimes in the course of trying to live these ideals, we sometimes falter and fail. And when we do, it's really important that we do the work of taking responsibility and seeking forgiveness and beginning again in love. And so I ask all of us who are here this morning, who are part of this covenant, do you, when you falter or fail in living our covenant, will you take responsibility, seek forgiveness, and begin again in love? please say, if so, please say, I will.
I will.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And now, please state your name.
Mac Boyle.
Mac Boyle. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
Please state your name.
Libby Etheridge.
Libby Etheridge, welcome into the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
Marcia. Oh, I'm sorry. State your name. This is her second time around today. So.
Marsha Whedon.
Marcia Whedon, welcome again into the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life. Okay.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay.
Please state your name.
Adam Greider.
Adam Greiger, welcome into the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
Please state your name.
Lisa Byers.
Lisa Byers, welcome into the family of All Souls. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life. And for those online, anyone online, you can, if you have a flower, if not, just use your hand, but we want to bless you as well. May your eyes see beauty, may your lips speak truth, may your heart know love, and may your hands do the good works of this world all the days of your life.
May you dare to dream dreams. May you dare to speak the truth. May you know your power to act. May love be your guide. May you walk with head held high. May your heart praise earth and sky. May you see life's gift to you. May love be your guide.
Beautiful. We welcome you into the congregation, and our children and youth. Our children and youth are welcome to go. Our children and youth are welcome to go to their classes as well. Thank you. Come on down. Here we go.
There we go. You're welcome.
Beautiful. I want to lift up a few transitions in the life of our community. A lot's been happening this week in our lives. We had a member, Judy Anderson, passed away, so we're thinking about her husband, Ed. Also, a friend of the congregation, Episcopal nun and Buddhist teacher, Sister Ellie Finley, died this past week, so we're thinking about her and all those who she's taught, and including our staff. She came and did a wonderful meditation for us, class for us one time. Also, we're thinking about our member Sue Williams, her son Josh, on the death of her husband and Josh's father, Jim Williams, this week. We had a beautiful ceremony on Friday for him. Also, Julie Tattershaw, whose mother passed away this week. And we're thinking about Nehemiah Frank, whose husband, Quentin, was in a motorcycle accident. And so he's going to be okay, fortunately, but he's going to have a road to, some broken bones that are going to need to be repaired. And then a longtime member, who was a wonderful pediatrician in this community, who was actually the head of the American Pediatricians Association for a period of time, Robert Block, Dr. Robert Block, who passed away yesterday. And he also taught parenting classes here in years past and sexual ed classes for children. Just an amazing person. So we're thinking about his wife, Sharon, and their daughters, Erica and Andrea, today. Everywhere member, Nancy O'Neill's mother, Sharon, died. And so we're thinking of her and her granddaughter, Kaylin Case. Also, we were asked to light a candle for member Carol Lambert, whose brother Jim is in the hospital. And also, we lit a candle in the earlier service for Robert Mayers, whose brother Miguel Angel, who marks 14 years from his death today. And on a positive, very positive note, we are celebrating today with Pat and Glenda Murphy their 38th wedding anniversary. So congratulations to them. Let's take a moment in silence just to hold all of this. This is a lot to hold, and there's a lot going on in each of our lives and in the world right now. So sometimes it's just really good to take a moment and stop everything and just cool down and take a deep breath. So let's take a moment of silence together just to feel our hearts and feel our bodies in the world and be grateful that we're alive. Beautiful, thank you.
Feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart, remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know how it feels to be me. Then you'd see and agree every man should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know. Yes, I'd sing, 'cause I know. I would sing
Cynthia Simmons, always such joy and wonder when you're here. I wish I knew how to get through everything that's going on right now in this country and in this world. I do have some ideas, and I want to share those with you this morning. It's so intense, though, what's happening in our world, in our country. The song that Cynthia just sang was an anthem of the civil rights movement in the 1960s here in this country. The most popular version, of course, was sung by Nina Simone on her 1967 Silk and Soul album. If you haven't heard it, it's a great one to dust off and take out and listen to in these times. So it's Black History Month in the United States, and you know what? There's a lot that we could learn right now about our current conditions from the story of African American history and the experience of African Americans in this continent. The ways that African Americans have endured and survived and transformed American society. A lot of us, especially those of us who identify as white and progressive, are struggling right now to navigate a government that seems upside down and destructive and oppressive and not in our best interest. Well, African Americans have a lot to teach us about this, living in, surviving in, and changing such conditions. This month, we also have as a theme here at All Souls, spiritual practices. So today, I'm going to share with you 4 main spiritual practices that we all need to be doing, be aware of, and have in our spiritual tool belt, if you will, during these times. And I'm going to make sure that you leave here with, clear ways of finding health and staying engaged in the midst of everything that's going on. I even put space in your order of service if you're here in the building. You've got space to write little notes about how you are doing or what goals you have to make sure that you have all of these aspects of spiritual practice. And this is humanists, agnostics, atheists, everybody. These are spiritual practices that are for everybody. These are ways of living our lives. So you can write those down. No, it's really tempting in a time like this to just check out, to disengage. It's just so overwhelming to just sort of be like, I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'm going to go do spiritual practices and be calm myself and calm my own heart and not just turn off the news and just forget about everything that's going on around us. But, that's really a pretty anemic spirituality if you're just taking care of yourself and not thinking about anyone else. To paraphrase Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we don't want to become adjusted to a maladjusted world. Now, at the same time, many of us are like ready to get on the front lines. Let's get in the streets. Let's do this change. And we're kind of more active-oriented, activist-oriented. But often doing this without spiritual tools, like we're talking about today, leads to burnout. Because fighting for change is hard work. There are successes, there are setbacks, there are frustrations, and we can work for years trying to change the world and find out that, after all, people are still starving, still abused, still dying. And this will kill our spirit if we're out there trying to change the world, but we don't have a larger spiritual net and container to hold us, and we don't have practices that can reinvigorate our spirit. So I just want to say, it's very important to me that I think hopefully we all agree that we need both spirituality and activism. You can't just be spiritual and not be serving the world in some way, and you can't just be out there serving the world if you don't have some spiritual tools and resources. So that's what I want to talk about today. I learned these 4 from teacher and author Andrew Harvey, who was here and spoke here about 15 years ago. And it starts with the first one he calls cooling practices. These are practices that help us cool down when we're too angry, too anxious, too overwhelmed. Has anyone else been feeling any of that recently? Yeah, okay, I'm not alone in this. So we all need techniques to calm down and to ground ourselves. Peaceful practices like meditation and breathing exercises. They include things like chanting and visualization and centering prayer. If you have a pen, feel free to write down what are some of the cooling practices that you're doing or can do or that you know or that you want to learn to help you so that you can stay sane and stay engaged in the midst of everything that's happening. One of the greatest African American theologians of the 20th century and Christian mystics was Howard Thurman. He was a teacher for Martin Luther King Jr. and many of those who fought in the civil rights movement. He was really kind of the spiritual theologian of the civil rights movement, and he talked about radical nonviolence. And he shaped an entire generation of activists. And these were people who were facing unbelievable violence and backward oppressive political ideologies. So we can learn a lot from Howard Thurman and what he taught. How do you live? What do you do to get through and to do so in a nonviolent way to create change? So it's something, he called it centering down. And this is what he wrote. How good it is to center down, to sit quietly and see oneself pass by. The streets of our minds seethe with endless traffic. Our spirits resound with clashing and noisy silences, while something deep within hungers and thirsts for the still moment and a resting lull. He explained, we need to take time every day to listen to what he called the stillness that the heart makes clear. We need to find a way to float up through all the jangling echoes of our turbulence, to tap into a sound of another kind, a deeper note which only becomes apparent in silence. In this stillness, he explains, we can hear the whisper of the heart, giving strength to weakness, courage to fear, and hope to despair. Thurman advises us to take time every single day to give our soul a rest and to let it mend and heal. He called it centering down, and he said it's a time to check the rhythm of your purposes. Centering down, he said, is about making time for renewal and refreshment, and with it comes a heightened perspective, and we need a heightened perspective in times like these. Are you taking time to center down at least once every day? Because it's really important right now. In fact, Dr. King used to say, I pray 1 hour a day, every day, except when when I'm really busy and I got a lot going on and there's a lot of pressure on me, and then I pray 2 hours a day. It's really important right now in the midst of everything to be taking some time every day to sit in silence or find your practice for cooling your anxiety, your overwhelm, your anger. Otherwise, it will eat you up. The second kind of practices are called heating practices. These are for when we become too cool, when we become apathetic, dispirited, even times when we need to be re-inspired and re-motivated, because it's so easy to just get into despair. People say that they're exhausted. I hear that all the time. I'm exhausted. Well, yeah, it's exhausting. And so that's why we need to, when we feel like this, it's pretty hard to be a source of positive change. And that's why when we get too cool, we need practices that help heat us up and bring our spirits alive. So heating practices, they help us keep our heart alive in disheartening times. Because those who would want us to be disheartened, that's what they're hoping for. But we need to keep our hearts, our passion, and our compassion vibrant and alive. These kinds of things include practices like drumming, is a great one, dancing, music, kundalini yoga, poetry, and singing. All of these are heating practices that bring our spirits alive. They get our heart pumping. They get our bodies moving. So music and dancing and movement, this has been used as powerful tools of resistance throughout history, throughout cultures. It's helped people to cope with oppression and alienation and trauma and political resistance. Again, we can learn a lot about this from African American history in this country. Think about how black people in North America have demonstrated resilience to wave after wave of harsh and inhumane treatment during slavery and the Middle Passage, through the brutality of segregation in the Jim Crow era, and through the enduring unequal treatment that continues to this day. As more and more people across ethnicities and identities are experiencing inequality and inhumane and dehumanizing policies, we have a lot to learn from African American history and African American people in this country. There have been songs in many genres in every generation that have helped African Americans endure severe conditions and scary times. Today, there are policies and executive orders that are trying to strip transgender Americans of their names and their identities. Remember, African Americans who were brought to America were stripped of their names and of their identities. We need to learn from their brilliant ways of maintaining sanity and dignity in the midst of it all. This perseverance from unending struggle and their epic triumphs come in no small part from this equation of allowing music and drums and songs and spirituals and chants and dancing to reinvigorate their spirit in the midst of feeling beaten down. Despite losing so much, Africans in America and the generations of African Americans have had an indelible spirit of creative resistance against all odds. Some of the greatest music we know comes from folks who were in very dire and difficult situations. This is a time to come alive, not a time to shrink down and become small. Using dance and music has been used to express anger and grief and to experience joy in the midst of enormous hardships. So these are what are called heating practices. They offer moments of relief and rejuvenation, and they have through atrocities, even worse than some of the things we're going through, like slavery, Middle Passage, Jim Crow, and all kinds of other things that last to this day. We need to draw on these examples to know that we're not alone, and there's wise people who've come before us who've shown us the way. And since I made the connection to the transgender struggles that are going on right now, I want to remind us also of the resilience of the gay community through the AIDS crisis of the 80s and the early 90s. We can learn a lot from the way that the gay community used joy as a source of resilience in the midst of a plague that was decimating the community day by day. There's a theology of joy that comes from the queer community that includes celebration and dancing and sexuality and creativity. That is also a resource for us in these times. Folks have been through things even worse than we're going through right now, and they have shown us the way. Our biological and spiritual ancestors have been through periods and situations that should help us have a broader perspective on what we're going through. In the words of rapper Kendrick Lamar, who we're all going to hear a little later today at the Super Bowl halftime, he said, 400 years ago, as slaves, we prayed and sung joyful songs to keep our heads level-headed with what was going on. 400 years later, he said, we still need that music to heal. What tools and practices do you have to heat yourself up when you're getting too cool, too dispirited, too held back? And are you using them? Write some down if you want. But keep your heart alive. Keep your passion alive. Passion for freedom for all people. In these disheartening times, it's so important. We can get so exhausted, we can check out, but the world needs us to do a lot more, and we can draw on these resources. To fail to do so is to dishonor those who came before us, and it's to forsake those who are going to come after us. So the third, is physical conditioning practices. These are practices that keep our body strong and flexible. Things like exercise and yoga and Tai Chi and stretching and weightlifting and CrossFit and who knows, all kinds of things that people do to keep our bodies in shape, because we need our bodies to be able to handle the stress. The cortisol levels, the stress, it will wear us down, and we need strong bodies. We might need to march and protest. Just to sit in meditation, you need your body to dance. We need our bodies. So make sure you're taking care of your body every day, every week. How are you caring for your physical conditioning? That's the third and that's the third of these practices. So now, the fourth, very important. We all need to be doing what's called shadow work. Okay, everyone has a shadow side. We all have blind spots and triggers. Some of us have trauma and wounds that we carry. We have old coping strategies that may have saved us from some difficult situation earlier in our lives, but they're not good for us anymore. We may not even be aware of them. And we have prejudices and other things that just sit in the back of our minds like a shadow, and we have to shine a light on them and bring them forward so that we can deal with them. Otherwise, they're going to be dealing with us. When I was young, I'll give you an example. When I was young, like 6 years old, 7, 8 years old, and my parents were fighting. My parents just went through a terrible period, eventually ended up getting divorced, but they would put me and my brother to bed. We shared a room. We had a bunk bed, and then they would just, it was like, whoa, we could just hear everything outside our door. We had a small house, and so my brother and I would, in order to get through this, we'd climb into, one or the other bunk together, and we'd tickle each other's feet, and we rub each other's back, and we found ways to soothe each other and to distract ourselves from the fear and the sadness and the confusion of what was going on all around us. And then when I got older, I learned that alcohol did the same thing, and marijuana and lots of other substances. They soothed me. And they helped me to deal with things that I didn't want to feel or deal with. I was lucky that I didn't get too addicted to these things. But then I realized as I got older and I got married, because I have such a loving and patient wife most of the time, that when things get difficult, I would check out. I'd numb out. And this was an old coping mechanism for me that was no longer benefiting me. It was now harming my relationships and ability to be real and authentic and healthy in the world. So I had to learn new ways to stay present even when things were difficult and hard. And that's shadow work. We all need to work on our shadows. Otherwise, they can ruin our marriage, our health, our reputations, our careers. It involves things like impulse control, addictions, aggression, and other secret and illicit and undermining behaviors. Shadow work is about finding intentional ways to face the shadows that haunt us. We all have a shadow. So most of us have some secret behaviors or old wounds and traumas and old coping techniques from childhood, perhaps, that don't serve us anymore. And we need to be sure that we have ways to uncover our blind spots and become accountable. So shadow work, it often requires the assistance of someone else, like a spiritual director or a therapist or an accountability group like a 12-step program, or certain men's and women's groups that will support each other and help each other to name what's going on. Because if we're not aware and in control of our shadow, then our shadow is likely in control of us. And under stress, our shadows grow larger, and they can destroy our health and our families and our jobs. So how are you shining a light on your shadow? And if you're not, what kind of a commitment are you willing to make in these times to make sure that you're dealing with your shadow side so that you can be a healthy and effective and productive part of this world in these times? So let's do a quick review of the 4 kinds of practices. So there's, what are they? There's cooling, heating, physical conditioning, and shadow work. Exactly. So we all would be wise to be filling our spiritual toolbox, if you will, with all 4 of these practices and using them as we need them. In these times, these practices strengthen us so that we can maintain our center, because there's no way that we can be an effective and helpful part of the solution to our world if we don't stay centered. As my professor Cornel West likes to say, in times like these, we cannot be an echo. We need to be a voice. A lot of people echoing other people's ideas, echoing other people's thinking. We need to be a voice. We need unique, rare, courageous, resilient voices speaking to what's needed right now in our times. He said, don't take a stand, have a vision. We need vision and imagination. In fact, I was talking to a member of our church, the brilliant and beloved Dion Lambert, who's been part of this congregation, sang in the New Dimensions Chorale for a long time, is active in our DIVE team, our diversity, inclusion, vulnerability, and equity team here at All Souls. And she's also a member of, she's actually the director now of the DEI education and training at the University of Tulsa. And so we were visiting yesterday, and she said, we need to dream and be creative and use our imagination to envision the world that we want to live in. And then we need to find and surround ourselves with other people who share a similar dream. That's how together we can manifest the world that we want for ourselves and for the future. That's what we're doing here at All Souls. We are surrounding ourselves with other people. We are seeking to find our voice, to make sure that we have a vision. And we do have a vision here. We have a vision of people coming together across their differences. Not difference as a sign of division, but as a sign of celebration. And coming together across our differences of belief and faith and ethnicity and background and generations and even political persuasions, to find ways to unite and recognize that we can love alike even if we're different. And so these practices are tried and true ways that help us to stay grounded, stay centered, have a vision, and remember who we are in the midst of whatever's going on in our lives. So when you're too hot, cool down. When you're too cool, heat up. Stay physically as strong as you can and flexible, and pay attention to your shadow. And you will be a source of great hope and change. Our community and our country need you right now to be strong, to be healthy, to be at your best. And we're going to help each other to be our best in the midst of everything that's happening. And when you're not your best, come here and we'll help lift you up. I want to welcome all 43 new members who've joined our congregation over the last 3 months. We are surrounding ourselves with people who share a similar dream so that we can together manifest a world that we can believe in and live in and pass on to the future generations. It's incredible what we're doing here. And I'm so grateful that folks are coming in these kinds of numbers, because I think it speaks to the fact that we know that we need to now, in the midst of difficulty, bring out the best of who we are and not allow ourselves to shrink. I know we can manifest such a world for ourselves, for future generations. And I just want to say, I love you. We can do this. Thank you.
Birds flying high You know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly in the sun, you know how I feel. Butterflies all having fun, you know how I feel. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's how I feel. This old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Yeah, freedom is mine. I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Well, I was feeling good, but now I'm feeling better. So thank you so much, music team, each and every one of you, and the beautiful singing of Cynthia Simmons. So thank you. Yeah. Yes. We had it this morning. Absolutely. Thank you. You know, one of our traditions is to give our plate away to an organization in our community that's doing good works in the world. We do this as a practice of living our values of love and service. So this week's offering is going to an organization that we've partnered with for a long time, the Terence Crutcher Foundation. The mission of the Terence Crutcher Foundation is to create just and liberated communities free from violence and harm. They do this through advancing policy, strengthening communities, and honoring the legacy of our ancestors. It's a great organization. Our plate goes to them, and it was great to see many of the members of the Terence Crutcher Foundation over at Phillips Theological Seminary this weekend. There were 68 people, a part of Action, a community organizing local group that All Souls is a member of, and we had 11 people there learning about leadership and community organizing. It is a great time to get together with people and to make a difference. So let's get to some of our announcements this morning. Sheila's Circle, having a craft sale today in Emerson Hall, before, during, after all the Sunday services. They're still there, and Sheila's Circle raises funds to help women in impoverished rural communities in Guatemala with entrepreneurial and agricultural education, mobile health clinics, and more. Please go help support in any way you can. Speaking of social justice, next Sunday, February 16th, we welcome Mary Catherine Mourn from the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. The Service Committee works with grassroots organizations to help people in need nationally and around the world. 3 initiatives the Service Committee is working on, among many others. I encourage you to check them out on their website. But I was just delving into some of their materials in the last few weeks, thinking about how I can contribute. And they're working on immigration, transgender care and safety, and climate justice, among so much more. It's a great organization. We're so pleased to have Mary Catherine Mourn with us next Sunday, speaking at both times here at All Souls with the powerful news on how we can live our values out in the world. For information on these events, several coming up that I didn't speak of but are printed inside your bulletin and posted online, always check out our website. There's so much going on at All Souls for you, your friends. Bring a friend, come be a part of it. We are now so grateful to receive our offering for the Terrence Crutcher Foundation.
And I am grateful to be able to play for you a classic from the Duke Ellington.
Ooh.
That you already heard some of his, but here's something else that Matt and David and I will put together. It's called Sea Jam Blues. Talk to me, David. Just a little bit longer. Yes, Matt, take it. Take another one. One more time. Duke Ellington.
Wonderful. Our musicians today and Cynthia Simmons.
Absolutely,
Music is just
Cynthia.
off the chain. We needed that. I needed this. I
know
needed
it.
this
I know
today.
it.
My spirit needed this
Right.
today. You know, and keep in mind, this music, some of the best music in the world, some of the best music we all know and love came out of struggle, came out of political oppression, came out of times when a government was crazy, doing crazy things. And so let this be a time that brings us alive, more creative than ever. We're going to need our creativity and our best selves. Let this bring out the best in us, not the worst. We won't let this push us down. We'll rise up in the midst of everything that's happening. We've got great music, great resources. I hope you use all of the 4 different kinds of practices to make sure that you stay healthy, whole, centered, and sane in the midst of everything that's going on in our world. This could be the best time of our lives. So I want to just ask you to everybody, if you're here for the first time, I hope to meet you in the library after the service on the left, just on the left as you go out. I want to thank everybody for everything that we've done. And I just want to say to everyone, may your eyes see beauty. May your lips speak truth. May your heart know love. And may your hands do the good works of this world until we meet again. Go and be loved and be loving.